the system, and you'll see a little bit more of Courtney Lee. I think he's a pretty good basketball player.
Take out our first time out here, 5:40 to go, 6-5. The New Jersey Nets leading the Miami Heat. Michael Beasley scoreless right now. He's had a couple of looks down low. He's been active, a couple of offensive rebounds, hasn't had a chance to drop yet. Send those emails in, Dante and Galante at OrlandoMagic.com. We got Nick up here for a few minutes, so any questions you might have for Nick?
Send some questions.
Yeah, Look, I'm not in a rush. I'm out here enjoying the game. I have nowhere to go.
Should get you a stool.
What do you see around here? A lot of old friends, a lot of familiar faces, Nick?
Yeah, a lot of familiar faces. My good friend, Coach Hill. I love that guy. You know, just one of my favorites. He's still at it. We sat and we chatted yesterday for a while. So,
yep.
You know, Coach Hill, and I see some new faces around. I see Pat Riley, who commands a lot of attention around here.
He does. He always has a group around him.
Yes.
I do notice that about Pat.
And me and Coach Lawrence Frank, we sat over there and talked about our college days because he was at Indiana when I was at Illinois. So
was he?
We talked about those college days, and he was telling me some of the things Coach Knight would be saying when I got the ball. And we can't repeat those on air.
Oh, it's the internet, though.
It's the internet. We might be able to get away with that.
I want to know what he said after he hit that shot in Bloomington. That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know.
You were a star player at Illinois. I don't think Lawrence Frank was playing basketball at Indiana. I don't think.
Nick was being kind.
he was being nice, right?
Yeah,
there.
he was on the coaching staff. So, a pretty good guy. I see a former player in Keith Askins who's coaching the Heat.
Well, you guys,
we had our battles.
Right?
We had our battles, and Keith was a pretty darn good defensive player down in Miami. Hit the outside shot.
Yep.
You know that was his role down there, and he played it. He done it very well in Miami.
No bow tie for him though during summer league.
Yeah,
Nick.
no Farrakhan look.
No, I'm disappointed. I like the Farrakhan look.
What about Larry Bird? We saw Larry Bird walking around here yesterday.
Oh, Larry Legend. Got a chance to play against Larry Bird my first 3 years in the league. Great. You know, you can tell Larry's been eating good.
Yes, you can.
You can get away with saying that. I can't say that. They'll pull the plug right on me.
But Larry Legend, if not the greatest, one of the greatest basketball players of all time.
Here's an you want to take some emails?
I love it. We're getting emails.
Here's an email from Harvey, Nick. He just wants to know, how do you think the Magic are going to do? Actually, he says the Magic, so I'm going to ignore that.
Right, just singular.
Just singular, the Magic. How do you think the Magic are going to do in 08-09?
Well, pending, bringing in some free agents and signing some players, obviously we need a backup point guard to Jameer.
Right.
I think we need a little bit more interior size. We can get that with the talent that we have right now. I'm looking for us to take that other step, and I'm saying this with all honesty. We can get past the second round. We should.
I like it.
We should get past the second round.
I agree with that.
You look at hindsight. Doesn't it just have a taste in your mouth? You kind of look back and say, you know what? Boy, they could have had a chance this year. Yeah. They came awfully close. An impressive year. It was a lot of fun to watch, and they took a big step this year. Big stride.
They took a big step. And in my back end of the mind, if we could have won that fourth game, both games at home, and build that confidence a little bit more, we were right there. We were right there.
So that's going to be encouraging for the squad as well.
There's another question from Dave, and this one comes from England. He says, great work, although we've gotten a little bit more serious since Nick is up here, which is true.
Which is good.
We're actually trying to have an actual conversation.
Because you and I trying to break down basketball doesn't work.
That's
Nobody wants to hear that.
Actually, I don't know if anybody wants to hear anybody break down basketball now that I've read some of those blogs. But the question is for Nick. He wants to know if Derrick Rose can be as good as Anthony Hardaway was those first few years in Orlando.
I would have to say yes. It's about putting in the time, the work ethic. How's your work ethic? How good do you want to be?
Right.
Some guys can just settle, say, I'm here now. I really don't have to do anything. But, you got the Kevin Garnett's and LeBron James and Kobe Bryant. I want to take it to the next level.
Right.
I played against a guy that was a pretty darn good basketball player, Michael Jordan.
Not too bad.
Yeah, he wasn't shabby.
He was okay.
But you can tell that MJ was Michael Jordan, and then there was the rest of the league.
Right.
Do you want to separate yourself from the pack?
Right.
And when I say separating yourself from the pack, I'm not taking anything away from the other guys that thousands of guys I played against and played with. But putting that time in the gym, being there, being the first one in the gym and the last one to leave. And I have to say to all the young men and women that has aspiration of being in the WNBA and the NBA, that's in any sport. You have to put in the time. You just can't get out the bed and say, "Hey, I'm good today."
Well, and that's what separates us from everybody else is that we don't put in any time.
We don't put in any time.
And what happens is we just walk right up here. We don't put any preparation in, and we just show up and plug this thing in. This is a radio box.
Right. No preparation. We just
go right on.
But you know, it's has a tendency from some guys out there. You know, you find those second rounders who really want to stick in this league, and they come hungry every day.
Right.
I think every guy should have that attitude. You know, there's only so many positions in this league.
I think every guy should not have a guaranteed contract, Nick. That probably would help out.
It make you
bit,
hungry.
Right?
It definitely will. You know, I've even heard that.
This is coming from a non-athlete, by the way.
Contracts should be like the football players.
Right.
You know, you can get cut at any day.
So that's why those guys
that would change the
play
game
hard
a little
every
bit.
down.
That would change the game a little bit. If you weren't locked in for 12 years,
Right.
that would change.
Why do you think Sass coasted for 3? Let's think about it for a second. All right, here's a question from Dr. Biff. Dr. Biff wants to know a hard shell taco or a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. What do you want? Hard shell taco or a peanut butter and jelly
I'm a soft shell
sandwich?
taco guy. I'm soft shell.
I'm not a peanut butter man. So
You're going taco as
I'm
well?
going taco.
See, I would say peanut butter and jelly. But, you know.
But I've never had one of those tacos before 2 a.m. either, so I don't really.
Well, that's also true.
I don't really know how good they are.
Also true. Here's an email. I don't even know who that is. What do you think of the Carter 3? I don't know what that means.
The Carter 3?
Yeah.
Is that in Vince Carter?
I don't know. It's specifically to you, but I don't really know what it means. So I'm going to pass.
Maybe, but that team has changed. This New Jersey Nets team. I mean, to me, and I made I made this statement yesterday, Nick, and I may be wrong, but I think the New Jersey Nets got rid of the only guy in the organization that cared in Richard Jefferson.
Richard Jefferson. He came to play every night. Wasn't the greatest defensive player, obviously, but you know, that was the bulk of your offense right there.
Oh yeah.
But had passion for the game, came out and played hard every night. But we all know that there's the rumors floating around that in a few years that New Jersey is getting under the cap to go after Mr. LeBron
But then what
James.
happens if they don't get him? That's what happens there. What happens if you do all these things and you don't get LeBron?
Well, there will be a lot of available jobs.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
And tickets, probably, right? There's probably a lot of available season tickets.
A lot of available seats.
All right, Alan wants to know if we think that the Heat's Summer League team could beat last season's Heat regular season team in a best of 7.
Oh, that's cool.
That's a great question. No, I think they could give them a run.
You think so? The other team has Dwayne Wade.
But seeing as 7
or do
of
we
those,
go at the end of the season?
I think 7 of those guys are on this team.
I was just going to say, because some of these guys, like Kassid Powell, were on that team last year at the end.
Yeah, in Miami right now, in the Summer League, they really don't have any bigs.
Right.
Not any bigs that can really take up the middle. And I think Mr. Blunt, how do you pronounce the last name?
Blunt.
You know, here's a guy that...
Talk about mailing it in.
Yeah. He was a perimeter player, you know. Came
and
out
that's
to
what
hit
you're
the
looking
3.
for out of a 7-footer, right? You're looking for a guy to hang out.
I want my 7-footer to bring the ball up the floor. That's what I want.
Here's a question from Nelson to Howard from the Real GM board. He wants to know what we had for breakfast this morning.
I didn't eat breakfast.
I did not eat breakfast.
I had a pretty good breakfast this morning.
You did?
My wife got up and said she wanted breakfast, and I got one of my good friends who represents Keith Langston, who's on the Bulls roster here, and George Hill, who's San Antonio.